Hi, I'm Niall from Gulfstream Boat Sales, and this is Rocket. It's a 15-meter Explorer rib that is beautifully designed and set up for family cruising, and also would make an excellent tender to a larger Explorer yacht. The boat's powered by triple Yanmar 370 horsepower Sterndrives. It has an excellent spec, including joystick controls, bow thruster, air conditioning, heating, generator, inverter system, full Garmin electronics, even a washer dryer. You name it, this boat has it. It's designed for spending extended periods of time on the water, but also, will run through very heavy seas. It'll get into shallow estuaries. It really is an excellent all-weather, all-climate explorer boat for family use or, day trips and comfort. The boat is very seriously for sale at the moment. We're going to take you a walk around the boat. We're going to show you all the features on board. We're going to show you behind the scenes. We're going to demonstrate the way that this boat's been constructed and the specification that it boasts, and also show you the condition that it's currently in. Rocket is badged as a Stormforce 1450, although the overall length is just over 15 meters. It was built by Red Bay Boats, commissioned in 2021, has been fastidiously maintained by her one and only owner, and it has currently got about 460 hours on the clock. Still in regular use by her original owner, maintained with an open checkbook, fully serviced, fully maintained. Everything is in perfect working order, and it presents almost like a new boat. We have all the original builder's paperwork, title documents, VAT invoice. It is VAT paid, so the asking price that you see is VAT paid. She originated in Northern Ireland, so she has freedom of movement throughout the Ireland and Europe, but similarly the UK as well. So uniquely positioned in that regard, I believe at the moment, because she's a Northern Irish boat. Rocket has an overall length of 15.5 meters, which is around 51 foot, and a beam of 4.45 meters, which is 14 foot 8 inches. Very purposeful looking boat. Classified as a rib, but she actually has solid tubes, foam filled tubes wrapped in hypalon. Very sharp entry at the bow. This thing is built to run at sort of speeds north of 20-30 knots in heavy seas. She has actually fiberglass, solid fiberglass fairing on the bow, wrapped in heavy duty black rubber. You get a heavy duty fender strip all the way around her as well, and then from this point back, that's where your foam filled D-shaped tubes begin, and they extend all the way to the transom. Wrapped in hypalon, they give the boat excellent sea keeping, extra sort of lateral stability in a heavy sea. The benefits of a rib, but with extra durability. Very nice lines to her, very purposeful looking boat. Stainless steel handrails up here. Port lights into the lower cabins, port light here into the heads compartment, lots of conveniently placed handrails, little access step there to get onto the aft weather deck, coming all the way back. Stormforce 1450 badging, integrated swim platform as well, with tender davits and a 3.3 meter rib on the transom. Very this boat looks like it means business. Let's take a look along the starboard side here. Very smart looking with the dark grey tubes, bright white top sides, plenty of stainless steel handrails, stainless steel engine room vents, and then the sort of very lightly tinted sea glaze flush windows on the wheelhouse. Condition of her is excellent. The boat has been maintained regardless of cost and kept looking almost as good as new. Very wide beam boat. You get a lot of excellent stability from the tubes whenever you're in a sea. D-shaped tubes on the port and starboard side. Let's take you on board for a walk around the decks to begin with. So very easy to get aboard. This little removable step, so you can just pop that off whenever you're at sea and stow it inside. Sliding doors on port and starboard side to access the aft cockpit area. which we'll take a look at now in a wee minute. But before we do that, let's head up along the side deck. So walk around side decks on both sides. You've got this little convenient lid over the midships cleat. All non-skid surfaces, handrails conveniently located, nice and solid, so you can very easily and safely make your way forward. Again, all non-skid surfaces up here. Solar vent for the heads compartment, I think. Flush Yanmar deck hatches for the forward master cabin. Chunky stainless steel cleats, beautiful stainless steel bow rails, stainless steel fair lead. This is your anchor locker up here with Yanmar foot switches for controlling the electric anchor windlass. Huge chain locker. Loads of chain on there. You've also got a deck wash here, deck wash hose, run from the fresh water tank. This is just a little storage compartment. You've got your recessed anchor roller down there that we saw from the jetty. So look at how fine that bow is. Very sharp entry, which gives excellent sea keeping. Let's take the opportunity while we're up here to show you the pilot house roof. So you've got, again, flush Yanmar deck hatches. They're not actually, they're fixed hatches there, so not opening. Again, more of a sort of all-weather type thing. You don't have to worry about them. Garmin Windex, LED light bar, forward-facing light bar, Garmin radar, twin VHF antennas for the radios and AIS system, horns and GPS antennas back there. There's also a couple of solar panels at the aft end of the roof there, if you can see them, for keeping the batteries topped up. Forward cleats, midships cleats again on the little hinged bow back here. Fresh water fill point on the deck there. You can pop your access step in on the starboard side, so it doesn't matter which side you're berthed on. And you have sliding door on this side as well. So very easy to access the cockpit from port or starboard side, or indeed the swim platform. The cockpit or weather deck back here is all laid in flexi-teak decking. It's genuine flexi-teak, which to my mind is the best synthetic teak. Low maintenance, hit it with a power washer to keep it clean, but it still looks nice and rich, complemented with this teak table and lovely L-shaped lounge area here at the aft end of the cockpit. And then we've got a hinged stainless steel gate down onto the swim platform. So one step down and then a nice spacious platform. So here we have folding rib. It's a 330 with a foldable rib, 3.3 meters. This boat, the rib's 2020, going with the boat. Lives on snap davits. You've got this little safety rail where you can park the rib against whenever the rib's off the swim platform. It's a nice, feature. So if you've got kids running up and down here, bit of extra protection for them to grab onto. You've got a swim ladder mounted over here underneath the platform, folds out, so if you can swim off the back of the boat in comfort. We have life raft storage underneath the swim ladder step, or the swim platform step. That's a category A 12-man life raft, fully serviced up until 2024. We also have a little 5 horsepower Yamaha outboard, 4-stroke outboard, 2021, that powers the rib. So nice lightweight rib. Storage boxes back here on port and starboard side, actually huge storage lockers. So this one will swallow up all your fenders and dock lines. We also have a transom shower, hot and cold, pull out transom shower so you can rinse off after a swim. Lots of storage back here as well. A big storage locker for fuel for your outboard. You can put pumps for the outboards, shore power leads, etc. And another storage compartment in here. These are drained lockers that will swallow up a lot of gear and equipment. This one's empty, little shelf up there. shore power connection point. So good setup back here. All laid in flexi teak as well. Coming back in to the cockpit then, let's show you a couple of other quick features to point out. Back here we have a barbecue grill, Canyon barbecue grill, 240 volt, runs off either the inverter system or the onboard generator, or shore power if you're plugged in at a marina. And then we've got a little 50-litre cockpit refrigerator, so you don't have to go inside for your drinks whenever you're serving your guests here at your aft seating area. Once everything's packed up for heading out to sea, it's all nice and clean and clear. Comfortable seating area then, L-shaped seating area on the port side, big enough to accommodate probably 6 or 7 people around this teak table, which you can fold out or stow in that position. LED lighting, low level LED lighting, so you can illuminate this area after dark. Storage for your boat hook. You also have more lighting in the overhanging section on the aft bit of the saloon roof. Downlighters, LED downlighters. Camera system connected up to the Garmin, so you can keep an eye on what's happening back here if you've got guests out here while the boat's underway. Speakers for the Fusion sound system as well. There's another little protected seat here just beside the entrance into the saloon, so it's protected from the elements whenever the boat's underway, so you can sit there, keep an eye out the back of the boat, and you're not going to be getting buffeted by the wind. That's quite a nice idea there, if you want to come out and get a bit of air without getting your head blown off. And then underneath here we have docking controls, so connected up to the Yanmar engine system, full joystick controls, high speed, low speed, and also a bow thruster control as well. So you can park the boat with the joystick, you can rotate the boat, you move fore and aft from side to side, and that means that it's a breeze to berth the boat from out here. You can keep your head out the side and place it exactly where you want to. This boat has very much been designed with operator, owner operation in mind. We also have this little screen. I'll need 2 hands to do that because I'll probably end up popping that off and dropping it in the sea. So yeah, it's actually easy when you know how, but it's a little status monitor for the Yanmar engine systems, giving you fuel consumption, fuel shift position, things like that. So just if you are controlling the engines for berthing from back here, you've got a wee bit of engine information there. You've got a remote control for the Fusion sound system. Main panel is up in the up forward, and obviously that's all Bluetooth as well, so you can control it from your phone, and Lumar bow thruster controls. So nice, neat little setup here for bringing the boat alongside. The owner was telling me that he can actually berth this boat single-handedly, which is great for a 48-50 foot boat to be able to bring it alongside on your own. That's fantastic. A couple more storage lockers back here. This one is where the owner keeps all his fluids on board, spare engine fluids and things. We've got a diesel fuel filler on the starboard side, a matching diesel fuel filler on the port side, big balance tank, or balance lines I should say, between the tanks. There's actually triple diesel tanks on this boat, 1 per each engine, but you can fill all 3 tanks from either side. They're all interconnected. Another storage locker in here on the port side as well. Plenty of stainless steel handrails all the way around here. Another one up high. Everything is really well put together and obviously in excellent condition. And then one door, hinged opening door, positive locker there, gives you access into the main saloon. Coming into the saloon then, we have galley up down along the port side. We have a little saloon seating area, wraparound U-shaped seating area. We have a total of 5 suspension seats up forward, so whenever you're on passage you can strap in fantastic air suspension seats that we'll show you in a bit more detail. Beautiful spacious saloon, wraparound windows, overhead lights, very spacious and airy, and great visibility from up here as well, all the way around the boat. Staircase aft, going down into an aft double cabin, and you've also got your utility area down there. And then we've another staircase forward, taking you down into your heads compartment on the port side, forward master cabin, then turn the corner for your another guest cabin with double berth and bunk bed setup. So a clever layout that makes the most of the available space in this 50-foot hull, and it means that if you are going away with a family or with groups of friends, you know, you can accommodate up to 8 guests in those 3 cabins. The fact you have the separate aft cabin from the forward sleeping area is excellent. So you got a family of 4 and you're bringing a couple along board, you've got 2 totally separate sleeping areas, which is excellent for onboard privacy. So yeah, let's take a walk around each area in more detail to show you all the features, how the thing's put together. A very long counter along the port side for the galley, so plenty of food preparation area. We've got a Neff induction hob. We've also got a combi oven here, which is also a steam oven. Must admit that this is not my area of expertise, but the owner was telling me that's a fantastic oven, a Bosch oven, Neff hob. They will run off there's a pretty heavy duty master volt inverter system on this boat, married up to triple lithium ion batteries, so you can actually run this equipment without being plugged into shore power or without having your generator running. But if you are using that and other sockets and things, the generator's there to give additional capacity, so you can operate the galley equipment no matter where you are. If you're on an isolated anchorage, you know, or similarly if you're in the marina plugged into shore power, you've got all your facilities on board. Twin sink and a half, large sinks, running water, hot and cold water obviously. Large 130 litre isotherm fridge with freezer box in here, complemented by the fridge in the cockpit out there. Lots of storage in the galley. Pull out, easy access pull out drawers. Krupp's coffee maker, which is going with the boat. That's actually screwed to the deck there, screwed to the galley. Soft closed drawers. You know, lots of storage in here all the way around the galley. We've got nice recessed low level lighting along the bottom of the galley there, which nicely illuminates the saloon after dark. Needs a little pull out bins, and again all soft close cupboards. 240 volt sockets, USB power sockets, nice chrome light switches, barometer and clock and things there as well, and a bit of storage, nice high level storage shelf across the roof there. Speakers, there's a total of 6 speakers in the saloon here. You've also got 2 speakers out in the aft deck, and you've got an amplifier there, all hooked up to the onboard Fusion sound system. Very good sound system on the boat. We have this nice U-shaped saloon dinette seating, so fixed dinette table, fiddled edges, nice bright joinery on the boat, nice solid support for that table as well. Beautiful wipe clean upholstery throughout the boat, both at the exterior and throughout the interior. Even the air suspension seating are wiped clean. The owner has small kids, so it's important that everything is easy to keep clean. So yeah, it's and the boat is very clean and tidy. More storage in here. We've actually got all our screen covers stored in there out of the way. That's all for all the dash systems, and more storage on this side. So nice deep drawers underneath the dinette seating. Very comfortable dinette. Whenever you are sitting down here, you're sitting up, you've got great visibility all the way around the boat. So if you've got guests sitting here whenever you're on passage as well, they're going to be able to see where they're going, see what's happening, and even keep an eye out the front screen there. So lovely setup here. It's also possible to rotate this particular air suspension seat so that if you get additional guests, you know, somebody can sit there, have a conversation with the guests that are around the table, and also get a view of the TV up there. We've got it looks like a 23 or 24 inch flat screen TV that the owner just runs off a Fire Stick system. Works anywhere as well. A couple of other quick things to point out. Obligatory wine rack here, or bottle holder, just at the end of the galley. along with these little sort of magazine pouches up along the side of the seats there. More storage then underneath the seats on the port side. Big storage lockers there. You've got some low level LED lights up here. More storage there. The original builder's pack, owner's pack with all the handbooks and manuals. Heater outlet here as well for the saloon. In addition to this one, there's also heater outlets in each of the cabins. Also, the cabin saloon roof line is worth a mention here because it is beautifully finished in marine grade leather, with the obviously the roof light panels laid into it, recessed lighting up along either side as well. So at night time, if you don't want the LEDs on, you can just have your indirect lights on the roof and also along the floor, and just create a nice sort of soft ambience in the saloon if you're sitting having a meal or watching TV or that type of thing. So very nicely done, but also super practical as well. There are a total of 5 Grammar air suspension seats, including the helm seat. So 3 on the starboard side, 2 on the port side. These are an excellent seating system. Air suspension, so you jump on the seat, you pull the lever. The seat actually weighs you. The owner was giving me a brief run through. So the seat weighs you and then adjusts the damper settings, spring settings, to correspond with your own weight. And then it does a fabulous job. Obviously this boat has been built and spec'd with the intention of offshore cruising, particularly around the northwest of the north of Ireland, the northwest of Scotland, you know, choppy seas. And these seats are excellent for comfort. You can strap in as well. We have adjustable lumbar support, electrically adjustable lumbar support, and just a fabulous set of seats. Let's turn off the AIS alarms. Thinks we're going to crash into a boat in the berth beside us. So yeah, excellent seats. Low set cup holders down there as well for each of the passengers. As I said, storage bins up along the outer sides, sliding windows here, port and starboard side, so you can slide those windows open. You can also open the back door. There's a little sliding window there for a bit of natural ventilation, but you've also got the aircon unit. So if you are out on nice weather, like a day like today, if you're saying you're in a rough sea and you've got all the windows closed up, you can fire on the air conditioning, big outlet there, and it keeps the saloon at a nice comfortable temperature regardless of what the weather's doing. The seats are obviously height adjustable also, as well as adjustable fore and aft. So it's very easy to get a comfortable seating position if you are going on a longer passage. So let's jump up into the helm seat here, and I will walk you through the equipment at the helm. So this is a helm that very much means business. Nice wraparound helm station, packed with equipment, state-of-the-art stuff, all basically brand new, current equipment, and has everything you need at your fingertips. Excellent visibility out through these sea glaze screens, forward and to the side. You've also got great visibility aft as well, obviously complemented by the camera system that's on board this boat. And yeah, I'm going to walk you through it as best I can. I had a bit of a crash course with the owner this morning, so I'll show you all the main bits of equipment and what they can do. First of all, you've got this steering wheel height tilt adjustable. Obviously with a combination of this and your height adjustable seat, it's very easy to get a really comfortable helm position. Your arms aren't outstretched. You've obviously got armrests built into the seat as well. So I can easily imagine myself sitting at this helm, you know, for 3 or 4 hours, and you're going to be arriving at your destination fresh, relaxed, and air conditioned, comfort, and with all the things you need literally at the touch of a button. So let's walk through the equipment and show you what's here. First of all, you've got your start-stop panels for each of the 3 engines. Triple Yanmar 370 horsepower Sterndrives matched up to ZT drives. We'll head into the engine room in a little while and walk you around the actual engine room itself. But these are your status monitor panels for each of the engines. Current engine hours are 453 on the port engine, 450 on this middle engine, 459 on the starboard engine. You've got shift position, fuel levels, that type of stuff, but where you're going to mainly look for your engine info is on this port screen. This is the way the owner currently has it set up, so you'll get all your engine information set up on this engine screen on the Garmin. So a triple Garmin screen setup. Main screen is a GPS map 7416, and then you get slightly smaller screens, probably 12-inch I think, on the to the side, so you can configure it whatever way you want. Obviously, you know, there's lots of options on these things. You can look at Active Captain app, you can look at your, you know, main boat info, GPS speed, course and heading. You've got media as well, so this talks to the fusion system, so you can see what you're playing and control volume and things on the screen. You've got your video input. Now that only works on the center one, I'll show you that in a wee minute. Autopilot screen, but engines are what the owner tends to keep up here. So you've got your tachos, fuel flow, fuel remaining, oil pressures, temperatures, all the main engine information on that screen there. This screen is your chart plotter, AIS radar overlay. You've also got your video. Let's see, how can we get video up here? Video. Let's just do this. So that's your aft deck video feed, and then there's another one for the engine bay. We go source, go engine room as well. So you get your engine room video and your aft back deck video. That's good to keep an eye on engine room whenever you're on passage, particularly if it's you're out in heavier weather, you don't want to send somebody or go back there. And also this can keep an eye on your guests if you're just going for a general cruise. Go back and leave that on charts. And then this one is just a replication of the port screen, so you can configure that to set up whatever way you want it. We then have a switch panel here for our lighting systems, exterior and interior, windscreen wipers, horn, fresh water pump, heater, which is a screen demister. So you've got a screen demister, 4 outlets across the forward screen. Actually more than that, 1, 2, 3, 4, there might be 5 I think. So you can keep your screen clear at all times as well. Beside this then we have our Yanmar anchor windlass control, so you can launch and retrieve the anchor from here. It's also got a chain counter on there. That is in addition to the foot switches on the bow. We then have controllers for our Dometic air conditioning system here. These are remote control switches for your battery isolators. So this is how you turn on and off your battery engines, or sorry, your engine batteries and house batteries. Controls for the bilge pumps, auto and manual functions. You can trim up the center Sterndrive individually on this switch here. So what that means is if you're running in very shallow water, say you're exploring a shallow cove and you're just running into sort of close to minimum depth, this boat draws about 1.2 meters at minimum. But if you're running in shallow water, you can actually trim up the center Sterndrive on its own to reduce your draft, whilst leaving the outer engines, the port and starboard engines, fully trimmed down for control and maneuverability. Isolator switch for the anchor windlass battery. Talking about engine controls and drive trims and things, this switch here trims all 3 Sterndrives together. So you can trim all 3 Sterndrives together. The owner was telling me that the boat does like a little bit of trim, so you can actually trim the drives up whenever you're underway. Just lift the nose up a little bit out of the water and gain an extra bit of efficiency. This switch trims all 3 drives together, and you have this switch for just raising and lowering the center drive on its own. In terms of throttle controls, obviously we've got triple engines and only 2 throttle levers here. Fly-by-wire, throttle and shift. The way that that's set up is that the port lever controls the outer engines, so the port and starboard engines, and the right-hand lever or the starboard lever controls the center engine. So this lever controls the outer engines, this lever controls the center engine only. So you can actually run the boat on the plane with just the outer 2 engines. The owner would always keep the center engine running, but you can have it throttled back to idle speed to save a bit of fuel if you like. Fuel consumption wise, the boat will run most comfortably at around about 3,000 RPM and 23 knots, burns about 120 litres an hour at that sort of speed, which is very efficient for such a big boat. 20-ton boat, 50-footer, running at 23 knots, 120, 130 litres an hour is exceptional. So it really gives you a long range. There's about 2,200 litres of fuel capacity on this boat as well, so really nice range. It also will max out at around about 38 knots. That's about 36 to 3,700 RPM. Burns around about 230, 240 litres an hour at that speed. This is all engine or data supplied by the owner, but this is an owner who has used this boat as it's been intended. He's been around Ireland. He's done lots of extensive cruising around the coast of Scotland, and he's put 460 hours in the boat in the last 2 years, so he knows what he's talking about. And yeah, a very capable explorer boat, a fast cruiser as well, so you can cover large distances in a short period of time, which is fabulous if you are time constrained. So nice controls, nice engine monitors here with all the link up to the Garmin system. We're going to climb down into the engine bay shortly and walk you through the actual hardware so you can see what all this stuff is actually talking to back there. This is your Garmin autopilot display screen, so dedicated display for the autopilot controls, full autopilot on our Garmin radar, AIS, everything you would expect. We've also got Garmin VHF radios. Actually have two VHF radios. So we've got this one here for the helmsman, and there's a totally separate dedicated backup over on the port side as well. So it's a totally separate radio, just an added safety system. So if one radio goes down, you have a totally separate system, standalone. We've got Yanmar trim tabs on the boat, controller here with LED indicators, Yanmar bow thruster controller here, and then your Yanmar joystick controller for berthing the boat, although the owner primarily does that from the controls on the aft cockpit. But you do have additional joystick controls for those triple Yanmar Sterndrives back here. Very effective at controlling the boat at slow speeds and berthing it with ease. Wireless charging pad here. Another wireless charging pad up here as well. Cup holders as well. Down here we've got a control panel for our Fisher Panda genset. It's a 5 kVA generator, and it just complements the onboard master volt inverter system. So you've got 240 volt power anywhere you go, and enough to run all the equipment on board at once. So even if you're running the washer dryer, you're cooking at the same time, you can do all of that with the generator and the inverter systems combined. Freshwater tank gauge. It's a 200 litre tank. That shows you the current water level. And then this is manual start-stop systems for the Yanmar engine. So just backup systems. If you've got any issues with the digital controls, you can manually control the Yanmar. So again, just the owner has designed the boat. It's been built with safety and redundancy in mind. This is a boat that if you are, up in the Shetland Isles and you have a little electrical gremlin, you don't want it to be preventing you from keeping on with your journey or getting home. And that's just why there's anywhere where they could build in additional redundancies and safety backup systems, they have done so. So you've got manual controls for the engine as well. So basically everything you could need at the touch of a button up here. Fabulous helm station. I'd love to get out on this boat actually and see how it goes underway. We do have some nice video footage that the owner supplied, so we can show you some footage of the boat running. But by all accounts, it's a fabulous going boat and an excellent offshore cruiser with a beautiful helm station, so you can take total control of the vessel whenever you're underway. The navigator station then has the same seat as everybody else, the air suspension Grummer seats. Chart table area here with a little cover over it. 12 volt USB power socket for charging phones and things. Secondary Garmin VHF radio, and the head unit for the Fusion sound system there as well. It is Sirius XFM ready. So yeah, nice little navigator station. Chunky stainless steel handrail also. Moving forward from the helm, we have 3 steps down, and again, as everywhere you go in this boat, there's chunky handrails. Nice little companionway here with access into the forward master cabin, and the heads compartment here on the port side. So heads compartment has a electric flush toilet, control panel for it there. Pump out switch for the master reader. There is a heater outlet in here so you can heat the toilet, which is nice. And you've got a good separate shower compartment there. Nice spacious shower compartment. Vent, hot and cold running water. Obviously there's a huge calorifier in this boat as well, and great water pressure, so that you can have a very nice shower in there. Nice little sink and vanity unit. Bit of storage in here. Open and port light for ventilation. Overhead LEDs, coat hooks. Yeah, nicely appointed. Heads compartment, and nice and spacious as well. The forward master cabin has a huge island double berth. It's a proper queen size bed. All the doubles on this boat are all queen size, and they all have proper mattresses. So none of these little skinny boat mattresses. Is a proper domestic mattress, so you can have as good a night's sleep on the boat as you can at home. So excellent arrangement. That, don't know why more manufacturers don't do that actually. Reading lights up at the head of the bed. We've got recessed lighting along the cabin roof line. Overhead LEDs as well. We've got that opening deck hatch. You can screen that off as well, but that gives you lots of natural light in here, along with the port lights, port and starboard. We've got a heater outlet down there, storage bin in the sides, a couple of fold away coat hooks, and then we have a nice spacious locker in here. Shelved out little vanity mirror on the back of it, and 240 volt power sockets along with USB outlets as well. So there's loads of room to stand here. Full standing headroom as well. There's tons of headroom all the way through this boat, I should say. And yeah, nice spacious owner's forward cabin. Heading aft, we've got tons of storage in here. This is a huge hanging locker. Absolutely massive locker in here. There's tons of big lockers on all the way throughout this boat actually. Another one in here. There's a bin there with cleaning materials. This is service access to a lot of the Garmin electronics. There's an air conditioning unit lives in here as well. There's your demister unit for the windscreen. So good service access, but also plenty of room for storing gear in there. We've got our switch panel behind this little screen. So 12 volt and 240 volt switch panel for all your different bits and pieces of equipment. Circuit breaker for your anchor windlass, controller for your Eversplasher heater, and then master volt panel as well. So this tells you your current battery status, whether the inverter's on or off, you know, the outlet, the current draw and stuff like that. So a very sophisticated master volt system, which I'll show you what the inverters are, where they live now shortly, but that's all easy to get to as well. Just pop down here, very easy to access for switching bits and pieces of equipment on and off. And then another 3 steps down further into the forward guest cabin. So this cabin is huge. You have a bunk bed arrangement here on the port side, or sorry, that's the starboard side. It's because I'm turned around. And on the port side, you've got another queen-sized double berth. So nice bit of storage space or shelving space up on the port side. Open and port light there. You've got your reading lights at the head of the bed. Huge big, again, proper comfy queen-size mattress. This is a full beam cabin, so it's literally across the full beam of the boat. And then on the starboard side, you've got your bunks arrangement. So the reason for this is for the kids. Basically, you know, it's a great kids cabin where they can all sort of bunk down in, have a bit of fun. The bunk at the top is a little bit smaller, and then you've got a full-size single bed with a proper mattress on it here. Again, more storage in there. Port light with, you know, blinds to screen it off. Recessed LED lighting throughout as well. All solid teak and holly flooring the whole way through the interior of this boat. Obviously a closable door, and there is a storage compartment in here as well with a mirror on the back of the door. Nice deep locker, so you can probably get suitcases, like little suitcases and everything in there. So there you go. This is the forward guest cabin with 4 berths in here. A few other things to point out in this area are these little companionway lights. These are on sensors as well, so if you're up at night time moving around the boat, they'll come on if the door opens. And I want to show you in here, because this is where the inverter system lives and it's also where the domestic batteries are located. So look, you've got these two master volt inverters, seriously heavy duty bit of kit. We will identify those in the spec list, so if you're keen to know exactly the spec of those units, it'll be on the spec list. Two batteries here forward, another battery there, bilge pump in this area, battery, what's that, battery status monitors and all that sort of stuff. So a good solid installation. There's your waste tank with macerator pump out on it, and a ton of storage back in there. So you get tons of storage in there as well. Yeah, a storage alone, you could hide loads of equipment down in there. So heading aft again through the saloon, we can make our way to the aft guest cabin. So it is great the fact that it's back here and totally separate and private from the rest of the cabins up forward. You know, so if you are staying on board with a family of 4 or 5, the family can be up forward, and then you've got totally separate and private guest quarters back here. So a few steps down, again all solid teak and holly flooring throughout, and another full-size queen size double bed, proper domestic grade mattress. As I said, you've got huge shelves then on both the port and starboard side. You could potentially even, you know, if you needed more people on board, you could put bunks in here as well. But this is perfect for laying out suitcases and things. If you've ever traveled, you know, on a boat, like, it's great to be able to set a suitcase somewhere and open them up and access them. You've got reading lights at the head of the bed. We've got open and port lights on the port and starboard side. Again, this is a full beam cabin, makes use of the full beam of the boat. And recessed area over here, teak and holly flooring. One other thing I'd like to point out in here is that we have a full washer dryer facilities in this locker. So in this locker here, we have a washer dryer machine, a proper marine grade one. It actually runs off the inverter system, which is incredible. But also you've got the generator there as well. You've got some fuel valves and things in here, and a ton of storage. So this is your sort of laundry cupboard area. And that means, you know, if you're away for long periods of time, having your own laundry facilities on board is pretty good. That's in there, easy to access from this aft cabin. And then finally in this cabin area, a couple of lockers to point out. Another big storage compartment with a mirror on the back of the door. One of those deep ones. Open and port light here with the blinds to screen all the port lights of these blinds to screen them off. Little sensor LEDs again, so if you're up at night time walking around, they'll come on. And then just a big lined storage compartment and underneath the bottom step. So yeah, nicely appointed. Double, making up your 8 berths. Access into the engine room is via this hatch on the deck of the aft cockpit, or the weather deck as they call it. So look at the big recessed lip around the locker lid as well. So even if you're out in heavy seas and shipping a lot of water, there's little chance of anything getting down into the engine room with that big lip and the rubber seal and everything. So really well constructed. And then just 3 steps down in here. And a fabulous engine room. If you're from an engineering background like me, you'll really appreciate this area. Everything's well set out, clearly labeled, clearly identified, and yeah, it's an impressive installation here. So triple Yanmar 370 horsepower Sterndrive engines matched up to ZT drives. So the port and starboard engines sit obviously slightly higher than the mid-engine. You can, as I said, that you can run the boat with the 2 outer engines and leave the center engine an idle if you choose. But yeah, the benefit of the 3rd engine is obviously increased performance. The fact that you can go then with smaller engines means that you do benefit on fuel economy also. And these things are nice, reliable power plants. Fully serviced. There's currently 460 hours on them. They have been fully serviced at 100-hour intervals on the drives and 250-hour intervals on the engines. So they are coming up in the next 40 hours on a service, so it's likely that the boat will just be serviced before it goes. The owner does still use the boat on a regular basis. But yeah, fully serviced. Everything is super clean and tidy. Bilges are nice and clean and dry. You've got your seawater strainers for each engine. 1, 2, and 3 over there. You've got your engine batteries with remote battery switches that are controlled from the switch panel up in the helm. So you have the switches that remotely turns on the isolators for each engine. You've got all your fluid checkpoints, are very easy to get to. This engine room would be a dream to work in. So you've got your gear lube reservoir bottles up in the transom, very easy to see. Power trim reservoirs as well are similarly easy to see at a glance. You've got your engine oil dipsticks there on the port side, but this one's actually rotated around so it's easier to access here. So very easy to do your daily maintenance checks. Fuel water separators, big diesel filters on the forward bulkhead for each engine, and your expansion bottles for your coolant tanks are also there as well. So very easy to get to, easy to access, and everything's nice and clearly labelled as well. Overhead LED lighting throughout the engine room, fire suppression system. It's all super clean and tidy. On the port side, you got your calorifier, large capacity calorifier there on the deck, and then there's this raised storage area. So there's boxes, the owner has boxes that he clips in there for storing gear. There's also a hanging rail down in the engine room, just here, so you can hang life jackets or wet gear or whatever. There's room to put another one up there too if you so wish, so you can dry stuff off in the engine bay. You've got the Everspasher heater unit, lives in there. This is your fuel tank arrangement, so this is your balance pipe connected to the fillers on both the port and starboard side. You've got your fuel senders living in here, triple. There's 3 tanks in there in total, 250 litres each, so there's a total combined fuel capacity of just over 2,000 litres, 2,200 litres. You've also got the little Fisher Panda genset here, so 5 kVA, 5000 I Neo Fisher Panda generator. This is just to complement the onboard inverters, because most of the 240 volt equipment will be run off or can be run from the inverters. This is literally just as a bit of extra capacity, so you obviously have all your equipment will work no matter where you are. As I said, if you're anchor in a remote anchorage, you've got full use of all your facilities. Controller for the genset, isolator switches, little water exhaust for the genset as well. So again, all neat and tidy and very easy to maintain. There's only 11 hours in the generator as well, I should say. It has done virtually nothing. So that is Rocket, a fabulous Explorer rib, 15 meters, triple Yanmar Sterndrives, and an excellent spec. Great family Explorer boat to go away for a couple of weeks at a time, or a very luxurious day boat if it's being used as a support boat or a tender to an Explorer yacht. All the creature comforts of home with those 3 queen size berths, air conditioning, heating. Obviously you've got all the electronics and nav equipment that you need for serious offshore running as well, with the Garmin radar, autopilot, air suspension, seats, etc. Built to a very high standard, maintained impeccably, and very seriously for sale at the minute. If you are interested in the boat, if you want to inquire about it, if you want to talk about a survey or a sea trial or logistics of getting it to your location, please don't hesitate to get in touch. Give us a call on the number at the top of our web page here, or send us an email. We'd be delighted to hear from you. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch the video. I hope you found it useful.